do. Welcome to the Education Service Center Region 19 and Rise Federal Credit Union Teacher of the Year Award celebration, an evening of honors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a leader in early childhood education and director of the nation's most acclaimed Head Start program, ESC19 Head Start Director and Teacher of the Year Coordinator, Socorro Rodriguez.
Wow. I love when he says my name. Can we play that again? I love it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2025-2026 Evening of Awards. We are so happy that you are here. It is my absolute joy to welcome all of you to this year's Teacher of the Year Dinner and Award Ceremony, Shining Through. Tonight, we honor remarkable educators who have come through an incredible journey to be here today. Each of our honorees was first nominated by their peers at their campuses. They competed at that level, and then they represented their district when they competed at their district level as well. They have earned the admiration of their peers and have earned the title of being representatives to their districts and charter schools. Tonight, they come together because they are just simply outstanding. And tonight, as we celebrate them, we will find out tonight who our elementary and secondary Teacher of the Year will go on to the state level to represent the Education Service Center Region 19 area. Every single teacher in this room, every educator, tonight is being celebrated for their excellence. And tonight, this evening, we will announce those winners, our outstanding educators. And so we want to celebrate each and every one of them tonight, along with their families and friends. So help me give our nominees from our districts and charter schools a round of applause. Let's have them hear our love this evening. Thank you so much for what you do. Enjoy your evening. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a pioneer in innovative education who championed dual credit programs and the first early college program in our community. Recognized throughout the region for his inspirational leadership and advocacy for the success of our students, teachers, and administrators. ESC19 Executive Director, Dr. Armando Aguirre.
Welcome to the ESC Region 19 Teacher of the Year Awards celebration. Before I go any further, I would like to take a moment to recognize our board members from our service center, starting off with our chair, Ms. Blanca Topete. Our Vice Chair, Mr. David Sablaski. Dr. Raul Munoz, Board Member. Mr. Jose Limon. And our newest board member, Mr. Alex Bustillos. I would also like to ask all the superintendents in the room that if they could please stand up. Thank you all for what you do. I also would like to ask all the Teacher of the Year family members and their colleagues that are here to cheer them on to stand up. Obviously, their biggest supporters and their biggest excitement is when they told you guys that they were nominated and they won for their school, so their district. So congratulations to you all for being here. Congratulations for supporting them. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Ms. Yuki Rodriguez, who just spoke, and all the ESC19 staff members who put this together. This doesn't happen overnight. Trust me, it takes them a few days. So let's give them a big hand. It is truly an honor, as ESC Region 19 Executive Director, to welcome you once again to this year's Teacher of the Year celebration. Tonight we gather not only to present awards, but to celebrate the passion and the unwavering commitment of all our teachers, not only the ones here, but those back in the classroom, those you represent. You make education what it should be. It's extraordinary for all the students of our region. Let's give them a hand. So earlier you heard the shining through. That's the theme. That's the theme of tonight. And we want to make sure that we realize that these individuals have done exactly that. It could not be more fitting in the face of challenges, whether financial uncertainty, we all know those, shifting expectations, and the teachers never wavered and have continued to shine. Teachers, you have been the guiding light for many of these students. You've inspired them. You're showing them that their dreams are within reach. This past year has been a test for our schools in ways we could not have imagined. Yet in every classroom, we see resilience. In every classroom, we have seen the spark of curiosity ignited by the lessons. The confidence has been built through the encouragement, and the joy of learning has come alive. And that's all because the teachers that we are celebrating and recognizing tonight. Tonight we honor 23 Teachers of the Year, nominees who dedicated, have transformed, and given of themselves every day for the benefit of these students. You create environments where hope grows, curiosity flourishes, and students believe in themselves. This is not just a profession, this is a calling. So thank you for what you do. To our superintendents, administrators, and I forgot to ask them to stand up. Let's ask the administrators that are here, the principals, if they could please stand up. And administrators, please stand up. The central office administrators, if you're here, stand up. Thank you all for your leadership, your vision, and steadfast support that you provide, and that you are the foundation that allows our teachers to succeed and our students to thrive. It definitely is a team effort. Now if I can ask all the Teacher of the Year nominees to please stand. Now, if you please remain standing. Please remain standing, because this piece is for you guys. As we begin this evening's celebration, let us remember tonight is about you all. Your passion, your resilience, and the light you bring to the students in Region 19. You are the reason we are here. So, on behalf of the entire region, and everyone in here, and everyone that could not be here, we congratulate you. We congratulate each and every one of you for being our honorees for Teacher of the Year for ESC Region 19. Please feel free to sit down. So now it's time, now I'm only between you and dinner, so it's time for us to stop talking and for us to enjoy and prepare to introduce and celebrate a great night with our honorees. Thank you.
Education Service Center, Region 19, and Rise Federal Credit Union proudly introduce to you our Regional District's Elementary Teachers of the Year. From Anthony ISD, Sylvia Rivera.
And it is amazing how from hating the subject, once they start like that, at the end, all the kids, they say, oh, you're super funny. You're so funny, Ms. Rivera. Because I try to make it fun when, instead of telling them, no, you're wrong, you're doing it wrong, I say, okay, what about if you just change the way you do it? And then during the class, they have opportunities to do other activities. So my class itself, the lecture, it's only like 30 minutes. And then after that, they can just go ahead and they have a choice where they can choose something to work on differently. And they can do math by themselves, math with a teacher, math with a partner, or the technology, and sometimes the technology includes chess, and chess, they love it. That's so inspiring that the kids, they want to come to class because they're going to get their Takis, and chances are that if they do very well, they will also play chess. So they will inspire their siblings, and they will go home and they will say, you know what, math is not hard at all, and we all love math. I love it. I love it when I was able to share that and to be someone that the kids love to be with. One of the aha moments is I'm going to talk, since I am a math teacher, I'm going to tell you about mathematics. I am going to tell the kids, okay, this is important because, everybody wants to know, it's like, why are you teaching this? Is this important? I say, yes, it is important. And I can show them right away, the area model, and then I can do the FOIL that we learned, that is the FOIL, when they have to do the binomial with the variables. And it is just amazing that they can see the reason why they need to learn that at that moment. So I always try to put, things from the world, something that they're doing right now, so they can put it together and say, okay, yes, I wanna do this.
From Canutillo ISD, Isaac Oliva.
The first person to get the answer right wins the card, right?
What I find most fulfilling and inspiring about being a physical education teacher in elementary is just being able to see the growth of the kids. I mean, we have the most important job, in my opinion, because in my school, I have grades pre-K through 5. We're a huge part of that child's life because that's like 6 years of their life. And I just told my 5th graders this the other day. I was like, man, I look at you guys now and I see the younger versions of yourself, and now you're beautiful seeing them grow up and what they're gonna achieve later on in life. I do a UIL team. It's listening skills, and I had a boy who we would go to practice every day, and he would just struggle. He struggled. And I was so happy because when it came down to competition day, he ended up getting second place. And it was absolutely amazing, you know, seeing all his hard work culminate into that second place. And he was so shocked and so surprised. But I mean, it's just a testament to, you know, always telling kids that just because you fail once doesn't mean you fail in the long run. If you keep working at it, you're going to succeed, and you're going to see that all that work come together for a moment like that, and it was amazing.
And what happened? Yellow didn't give up, right? And did they recover? Yes, and that last match ended up in a tie.
You challenge kids, and then they rise to meet your challenge. They might struggle with the activity, but as you continue doing it, they get it, and you're like, dang, you know, I thought this was too much for them. I thought this was over their level, over their understanding, and then they do it, and you're like, wow, like, these kids, they're learning from me, and you can see it in their faces, their excitement, like, Coach, I got it. Coach, I can do it. Coach, look at me now. And it's just like, wow, you know, it just makes you really happy to see moments like that with the kids.
From Clint ISD, Araceli Montalvo.
What I find most fulfilling and inspiring about being a teacher is having my students grow personally and academically throughout the year. You start seeing how students start progressing and grasping new concepts that they didn't learn before. You start seeing them get their confidence up and start taking on leadership roles that you didn't think these 7-year-olds could, you know, possibly do. You see them helping their peers and being more responsible for their learning. They start taking accountability for their own learning, and it's just wonderful to see that. This year that just passed, I had a student come into my classroom with no prior schooling. So it's his first year ever in a classroom setting, no daycare, no anything. So it was a hard transition for him. I remember he would cry every day. So I just continued to, you know, push through trying to use classroom circles as a tool to try and reach him. And after, you know, various attempts and even other peers coming in to, you know, invite him to our circle, his curiosity finally kicked in. He started participating in our classroom circles, and you could just see this amazing new little boy who was thriving in the classroom, and he actually became one of my top performing math students this past year. So it's just wonderful to see that. And I came across this little girl who was coloring the sky, and I noticed that she was coloring it orange. So I was like, do you need a blue crayon? Did you lose your blue crayon? And she was like, no, I'm okay. My sky is orange because it's the sunset. And that made me, you know, kind of like stop and realize that, you know, teaching and learning, there's no one way to do it. And it's important to see all the perspectives that there are. Just like looking at each individual, not every individual is the same. We're all different types of learners. So that has made me become more flexible, more open, and start paying more attention to, you know, student voices, you know, because they're all unique in their own way.
From El Paso ISD, Sandra Iglesias.
So this one is the uppercase. The learning process itself. Kids nowadays think it's an instant gratification, but it isn't. It's a challenge every single day. And when I get the chance to see kiddos that started with me in pre-K and now they're in high school and tell me, thank you for teaching me to love learning. I can teach them the letters, the numbers, how to do anything academically, but if I can instill the love of learning, oh, that makes my job all that it matters. It started 4 years ago during the pandemic. It was the first year that we did it virtual. A little girl she would have her camera and her dining room. So mom would bring her snacks throughout the day, and I'm like, oh, what are you eating? Oh, will you invite me? These little things. When we went back to school, the mom didn't send her back until this year. Meet the teacher night comes, and wholeheartedly forgot who she was. This little girl comes running to me, gives me a hug, and starts crying. That I've had numerous kids in my classroom, but the impact I had on her during virtual and her come running and giving me a hug and saying how happy she was to see me, that is what I still hold dearly in my heart, because throughout the school year, every time we would see each other, what are you doing? How's it going? And her friends that I've never met, oh, hi, Miss Iglesias, you're so-and-so's teacher. So that, to me, that I made an impact, be it on a camera and now in person, that's my most treasured memory as of now.
From Havens ISD, Anaïs Roundtree.
So what I find most fulfilling and inspiring about being a teacher is seeing my students taking charge of their own education and taking that leap of faith. So in March, I had a lesson about Cesar Chavez, and the biggest takeaway that my students had was the phrase, "Si se puede, it can be done." And so these students kind of use that as their mantra, their affirmation to use that when things were getting challenging in the classroom. And so the day before STAR test in April, my students started coming up to me with worries on their face. They were, pretty scared and nervous. They were telling me, "Miss, I'm scared I'm going to fail." The heartwarming experience was when other students started noticing how they were feeling, and they started chanting, "Si se puede, it can be done." And not just that, they grabbed their peers and they started doing a conga line around the classroom for a good 2 to 3 minutes, and that kind of changed the mood in the classroom. They were happy, they were smiling, and they were dancing around the classroom, and I think it was so nice to see that they were uplifting each other. I had a student tell me, "Miss, why does everybody have a family and not me?" And that really stuck with me throughout the year, because nobody wants to hear their student who is 10 years old do that. I realized that this student wasn't my typical 4th grader. Yes, she had friends, she loved to read, she loved to draw, but she was hurting much more than she let on. And so for me, I wanted to make sure I created a club, which was a safe space for these students to be able to be themselves, to be able to tell me whatever was on their mind. I added more students to that group just because they were going through similar situations. And so with that being said, I think that the students gained some self-esteem and some confidence that later transferred into their academics. They set their goals and they surpassed these goals, really kicked it out of the ballpark. And I'm just so proud of how far they've come. And I think as a teacher, it's very important for me to not only take this with this group of students, but with everybody. I want to be able to see the needs of these students, address them, and hopefully this fosters an environment that is more conducive to learning.
From Fort Hancock ISD, Maria Fierro.
So an aha moment for me was when I went to a training on the classroom behavior. So as a pre-K teacher, we face many emotions. Children cry, they have tantrums, we have runners. During that training, the presenter said something that really stayed with me. He said, children cry and they have tantrums because that's all they know. So that totally changed my perspective. And now I don't see that as disruptions in the classroom. Now I see a moment to teach, to teach those students. And I intend to make a safe room and safe environment for my students so they can feel comfortable. A heartwarming moment was when I started first teaching at the district. It was a student that was repeating first grade. And at first he seemed like he didn't care, very defiant, disrespectful. And I made it a point that I believed in him, that I encouraged him every day. You know, I respected him. So one day he comes back and during the same school year, he comes back and apologizes to me and says, I want to change. I want to behave in your classroom. So at that moment, I realized why I chose this profession. It showed me the impact on belief, respect, and second chances.
From San Elizario ISD, Rachel Quiñones.
And again, my piece, it's up to you and your partners, either landscape or portrait.
The thing that I find most fulfilling as a teacher is when the students finally do what you ask them to do and actually show what they learned. And the student that popped into my head is the student in class that on the first day of school, he told me how much he dislikes reading and writing and that he just didn't like it. So throughout the year, he was one of those kids that I had to go back and have him, redo it. Teacher Appreciation Week came by, and there's these two teachers that come into the classroom and we co-teach. So something nice for the class to do is, let's make cards for these teachers. So he brings a piece of paper and he wants me to revise what he wrote to one of the teachers. And I just stayed like in shock. It was the most heartwarming, it was the most loving things that a student has ever written to a teacher. He stuck within the sentence boundaries. He used punctuation. He revised and edited words that he didn't know how to spell. He underlined. Miss, can you help me make sure that they're spelled correctly? So I'm looking over it, and I did very little, adjustments. And at the end, he ended up doing a little book, and he read it to the class. And everybody just there was like a hush, like no joke. There was no sound, no nothing, no movement. All the students were focused, and he was under the document camera, and he read it, and I just stayed like, oh my God. Even the students, after he finished, they all clapped. They're like, oh, okay, me too. So we're clapping, and they're like, you know what? Ms. Moreno is really going to cry when you give her the book. He put forth what he learned, what I taught him, without no pressure, no nothing. I mean, he was motivated by how, what he wanted to say to this teacher, and that's something that STAR doesn't measure. He used it when he needed it, and he learned it. So for me, it's like, yeah, the scores will show whatever they show. But to me, this is true learning.
From Sierra Blanca ISD, Rachel Gomez.
Yes, good job. You have to go back. Good job.
The thing that I find most inspiring about being a teacher is that I get to help my students in my classroom become who they're supposed to be in this world. I'm a part of their story. I'm a part of their journey in education to be lifelong learners. I think back to my classroom where I get to see them develop, I get to see them learn, and really become the individual amazing students that they're meant to be. This last year, I had a student who was going to be going into a major surgery. He was going to be pulled out of school to go do that. And in my classroom, I really cultivate a family, a community of respect and of love and of kindness. And on this student's last day of school, he was really nervous. And I got to see his classmates really rally around him. They made him cards. They made him a giant poster to send him off. And just to show him that he wasn't alone. That really inspired me. That really showed me through how they were treating him, the impact of what I am doing in the classroom and of what we've established as a family, as a whole, as a community of love and respect. This last year, I was preparing my students. I was going to be gone for a few days for a one-act play competition that we were a part of. And as I was getting the sub-plans ready and we were cleaning up the classroom at the end of the day, one of my students came up to me and he said, "Ms. Gomez, I don't want you to leave." He said, "I don't like when you leave. I want you to stay because I miss you." And this sweet student really showed me that even in the challenging days, even in the mundane, what I do matters. There's an impact there, and they know that I love them. They know that I am cheering them on. They know that I am always in their corner. And I think it was just a moment of realization that, I am making a difference. I'm making an impact, and they're going to be good. They're going to be all right. So I think that was kind of an aha moment in my career.
From Socorro ISD, Edith Miranda.
But for me, the most fulfilling part about being an educator is working with the students and knowing that as they walk through my classroom, even though it's pre-K, eventually, they're going to take what I teach them and they're going to take what they learn from me, and they're going to apply it in their entire educational journey. You can't read without knowing the letter sounds. So for me, it's just amazing to see them walk in not knowing much and then leaving the classroom. Some of them were already reading short CBC words, and that's the most fulfilling part for me. Watching them grow, watching them learn how to socialize with each other. A lot of them come from Abuelita's house, and they're used to me, and these are my things. But by the end of the year, they're a little community, and they're like a little ant farm, and they just do their own thing in the classroom, and I really just make sure that they're okay and everything is getting done. But for me, the most fulfilling part is working with the students and seeing them smile every day. Again, I wrapped up my 13th year, but reflecting back on my career, my first year was the toughest. In that classroom, I was a bilingual teacher. I had 23 students. The levels of reading were very, very, very different. I had kids reading pre-K level all the way to 8th grade level, and so for me, that aha moment came when I knew I couldn't teach all those grade levels in 1 year, but the aha moment for me was as long as they all grow. It doesn't matter if my student who's reading at a pre-K level doesn't reach 4th grade content. It's not going to happen overnight. But as long as what I did moved him forward, that was an aha moment for me. And it made me realize that all kids are different. But as long as they grow, and as long as they learn, as long as they feel loved, as long as they feel wanted, and as long as they feel like they're in a nurturing environment, then I've done my job.
From Tornillo ISD, Valeria Valenzuela.
What I feel most inspiring about being a teacher is being able to help my community. I grew up in Tornillo, and it's a pleasure being in that district and being able to help my community. I was in the shoes of my students. I was there. When I was there was many opportunities. And so I want to give back to my community and show them that they could dream big and they will be able to succeed, just like I have done.
Right. Who is and what topic would you want to discuss?
Whenever they come into my classroom, I greet them at the door. I do circle time, so I get to know them and they get to know me and have more of a bond together. Because in order for a student to actually learn, they have to feel connected. They have to feel like they belong in the classroom. In the last day of school, I was just with my students, and one of my students, the one I had the most challenging situations with, he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, teacher, thank you for teaching us. We learned a lot all this year, and thanks to you, we were able to pass our tests. So thank you." And it just felt really, really nice because that was the least person I expected a thank you from. I was like, oh, I was expecting from someone else, but no, it was him. And I could see the impact that I made on that student. And I also got, the last day of school, I received a letter from one of my students. She came in knowing no English, and she wrote that letter in English saying all the gratitude she had towards me. And I was like I could see the growth she made and the confidence now she is with her English. So that was really, it was a very nice last day of school.
From Isleta ISD, Gladys Hinojos.
How do we know what makes these texts argumentative?
And teaching in the Lower Valley has given me the opportunity to work with these students. I grew up in that community, and I teach very close to the border, so in a community where families face many challenges, and I've seen them struggle. I was one student that struggled the same thing that I see with my students. So I know the struggles, I know the challenges, and that makes me realize the importance of welcoming those students and make my classroom welcome to everybody with diverse backgrounds. Before they can become successful learners, we need to make an impact, and we need to make sure that they feel valued and worthy and that someone cares about them.
Ready, set, go.
I had a student a couple of years back who she struggled a lot. She was absent, she wasn't prepared, she wasn't motivated to come to school, and she was, there were times where she was disrupting the class. And it just took me one day. One day I sat next to her and I asked her, how's your day going? What can we do to make it better? And I will never forget the look on her face. She looked at me and she said, Miss Hinojos, you're the first one to ask me how I'm feeling today. That moment made me realize the importance of building strong relationships with our students. Over time, our conversations became more open, and she became to do better in school, not just academically, but also her behavior changed. And she worked a lot. She worked so hard because I'm talking about a little 9-year-old. She was going through a lot. A couple of years back, she went to my campus. She found me, and she took her graduation invitation for her high school graduation. I went. When I saw her walking up the stage and receive her diploma, that was one of the proudest days of my career. And it made me realize that when teachers and students build this strong relationship, it shapes how the student feels at school, but also has an impact on their academic success.
Education Service Center Region 19 and Rise Federal Credit Union now proudly introduce to you our regional district's Secondary Teachers of the Year. From Anthony ISD, Tiffany Garcia.
I'm a special education teacher, and so it's a little bit different from the other types of teachers. I go into the classrooms and service kids with inclusion. So I service them in the classroom. I do more support with them, with the teachers, and then I pull them out for interventions and stuff like that. So in this case, we're killing bugs because we don't like bugs, but in us killing bugs, it's killing the bugs and they're dying, and the frogs have nothing to what? Eat. They have nothing to eat. The thing that's most inspiring is I have different ranges of children with disabilities. I have children that have a learning disability, to children with autism, to children with emotional disturbance. And I think one of the things that's been a lot since COVID, we've had a lot of kids that have kind of like shut down internally. And so even our children with disabilities, they've kind of shut down a little more. So you have to dig a little deeper. And I think what's really inspiring is, I don't know, I feel like I'm starting from scratch. I've been doing this for 10 years, but these kids, they come in a little bit more sheltered, a little bit more introverted. And so I think what's inspiring is when you get those kids to break out of their shell and trust you, because not only do they have 8 teachers a day, to have another one go in there and then a special ed teacher, they're in middle school, they don't want that stigma. So when they finally open up to you and they're able to share, personal things about what they're struggling with academically, I think it makes it more rewarding because you connect with them on a different level. And you're not just their teacher on a core teacher, you're their teacher all year long for whatever they need. And when they're feeling down, when they need that extra support, they can come out and you can support them with it, So I think it inspires me that way because each kid is different. And I have a new group every year. And since I'm at the middle school, I'm in charge of 6th, 7th, and 8th. So I can see when my 6th grader comes in and then when I send him into high school at 8th grade, how he's changed in those 3 years. It's really rewarding and inspiring to see the growth from my little 6th grader to my 8th grader before he steps into high school.
From Canutillo ISD, Lorenzo Melchor.
We've been talking a little bit about genetic disorders and how to read karyotypes. So, thanks to one of my old bosses that I used to have, I'm a science teacher, and so being a science teacher can be a lot of fun. And she helped me see that students will remember things that are gross, that are fun, and that are interesting. And so since then, that's really how I've tried to make my lessons go. Make them either say ew or wow, that's neat. So 24 or something. So 23. And then there's going to be that extra one. The thing that I feel most inspiring about being a teacher is just actually being able to touch the future. I feel like the students a lot of times don't know the potential that they have inside. And so being a teacher really allows me to help bring that potential out. A lot of times they're scared of the magic that they have inside. But being a teacher, I'm able to go ahead and show them a little bit of their spark and hopefully fan the flames and help them to become the people that they're supposed to be. I have this student that she comes from a family that is very humble, and as a result, she didn't really believe that she could be much. She didn't believe that she could ever leave Canutillo. She didn't think that she would amount to too much. And I told her that just because she's from Canutillo, or just because she feels she's from Canutillo, that doesn't mean that she wouldn't be able to. I told her that the world is her oyster. And just seeing how she changed after that really kind of moved me, because it reminded me why I became a teacher, to see the potential in what other people don't see.
From Clint ISD, Stefania Gallegos Perez.
I think that one of the things that is the most fulfilling and inspiring about being a teacher is the way that we can change students' lives. But not just changing their lives just for the period that they're in our classrooms, whether it's a year or 2 years, but what comes after that. Because the change that you can make in them impacts not only themselves, but their future families, their future generations. The lessons that we teach them hold a lot of power. So that puts a lot of weight on our shoulders to ensure that what we teach them and what we tell them is something that is really going to help them prosper. Not only, like I said, their families or themselves, but the community and society as well. The end of the school year is always a time where emotions are high and reflection is there, not only because you're reflecting on everything that you did that school year as a teacher, as a professional, with summatives and T-tests and all of that, but kids, their chapter is about to end. They're done with school, now they're ready to a new chapter. And a lot of my senior students come and just have conversations with me, and we reflect and we think about everything that they've learned and everything that they will take. And one of the things that made me cry was I received several letters, but this one specifically, where this student wrote just beautiful words she described me in a way that I probably don't even see myself that way. But she talked about a lot of my attributes. She talked about how she looked up at me as a mentor, as a teacher, and how she would like to be like me one day and to take that. And that to me was very fulfilling, and it made me reaffirm my job, because at the time it's a stressful time. And with those words, with everything that she said to me, it made me think, this is why I do what I do. I'm doing something right.
From Del City ISD, Gifty Darkoa.
What I find most fulfilling is seeing students move from a place of uncertainty to confidence, especially in a subject like math that many people find very intimidating and abstract. Being able to guide that transformation so that they are not only able to understand the concept, but they're able to apply that concept with confidence and conviction remind me every day that what we do as teachers matters. And it's also very fulfilling to see them, that mindset shift from I can't do this to I've got this. So that is very fulfilling to see each day in the classroom.
You do the same thing for CESO, you do the same thing for SIMO.
A heartwarming experience was when a student came to me after class and said, "You are the first teacher to make me believe I could actually be good at this." And moments like that reaffirm the fact that teachers, we don't only impart knowledge, but we also help students see their potential. Every student is very unique. They have passion, they have strength, so our ability to guide them to see what they have in them and apply themselves to be the best version of themselves they could is very heartwarming to see.
So we are swapping and solving the questions.
All right, so an aha moment I've had is when I realized that it's making students feel comfortable, seen and valued in the classroom. They are at their best in engaging, and you get them to talk more with their colleagues. And I saw that when I incorporated like real world problems in the classroom, and also they are able to talk with their colleagues more, so they learn best and they are able to confidently share their ideas and the concepts that they have. So that made me realize that how we connect with the students, how we make them feel in the classroom is just as important as what we teach.
From El Paso ISD, Mary Bejarano.
Put your books in the middle and pull out your computers. You guys,
What I find most fulfilling and inspiring about being a teacher is getting to know my students, learning what makes them them, the community that they bring to our classroom, and how we can bring each individual experience to form our classroom community. It's very inspirational to see how much they've grown throughout the years, and when they come back and visit, it's so much fun to see where small moments we had in class impacted them years on.
So the name is Calypso?
One heartfelt experience I've had with a student was my first year teaching middle school. I had a student who was diagnosed with leukemia, and it was one of the hardest experiences I've had because I feel like having a relationship with students is so important, and when they're states away and you really can't see them in the day-to-day, it was really hard. But we were still able, we Zoomed every week. We made sure that she checked in not just for her academics, but we did social emotional check-ins. And at the end of the year, all of the procedures went really, really well, and she's thriving. She's on the dance team, and I go and see her every time she performs. So that was a great experience.
Very good choice.
I'll always have at least one student that comes and says, "Miss B, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even want to come to school." And to me, that's so impactful and so empowering to me as an educator, because I realize I have the ability to make or break it for a student, right? So what I bring into the classroom, my energy, my relationships with students, and how they feel in the classroom matters every single day. And that's changed me as an educator because I make sure I show up every day unless I'm sick. I show up, I'm there for students, I'm checking in with them if they're absent, I'm checking in anytime they're having a hard day, because for a lot of students I am their person, and that's really impacted me as an educator.
From El Paso Leadership Academy, Mariana Luna.
After you
at level 1, you come in, check in with me. There's gonna be a code that you guys are gonna have to try to decipher.
The most fulfilling part is just getting to see the students grow from the moment that they start school to the moment that they finish up at the end of the year. They've completely transformed. It's super inspiring to see them, see what kind of challenges they face and just, take them head on.
Do I want a negative x? No. So what do I do? Divided by negative. Divided by negative, so then my answer ends up being? Negative.
I had this one student who I've known her since 6th grade. She had the typical, math experience to where she hated it. Yeah, I had her join the algebra class. She hated me at the beginning. She didn't understand why she was a part of that class. And towards the end of the school year, she got really, really good. She passed the end of course test. And at the very end, during the day of graduation or their ceremony, she came up to me and she wrote me this little note. And yeah, she told me in person too. She was like, thank you for not giving up on me. That, she knew that I saw something in her that she didn't see herself. And now she loves math. She was one of my best students in the class. Most of my philosophies, I want to try to get students to not dislike math, as many already probably do, and just kind of, change the course of teaching something that's hard in a simple way.
From Fabens ISD, Diana Montes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm an art teacher, and a lot of my students are introverts. They're very into themselves, very quiet, especially those true, artists, and they have their little private sketchbooks and their little private drawings, and that aha moment for me is when they ask if you would like to see them and see their writing, their personal drawings, their feelings, because it's a journal, it's a diary, and they're sharing it with you. And you're watching it with no judgment, and you're sharing it with them. And when they do that, you're in. It's just an experience that once I get there, I know I'm there.
Like little joints, right? The knees, the little feet move, little ankles, wrists.
The relationships that I build all these years with my students, that's the most fulfilling. 16 years in, I'm getting to see them grow up and start careers, start families, and just see them grow in general. Just recently we had a graduation, and just seeing so many of my kids, I teach middle school, so 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they start from 11, 12, 13, and being at graduation this year was just heartwarming. They're so excited to start their lives, and you're part of those memories that they had here. I'm teaching in a small town, so you're seeing them grow up. I mean, you don't miss a step. You're hearing about them. So when finally they graduate and you get to give that final hug, and just knowing that they're just going to take off and make something of themselves, and it's really heartwarming. It's heartfelt, especially when they're going off to the service or just somewhere far away. You just wish nothing for the best for them, and hope to see them again one day.
From Fort Hancock ISD, George Trevino.
I don't teach your typical subject. I don't teach a core class. I teach a class that we are able to teach our kids some skills and give them an opportunity to be successful in the real world. What inspires me is when that student gets something and understands it, is able to produce something out of it, is able to make something that he couldn't have made before. That builds confidence, that builds the ability to actually stand up and speak for himself. That inspires me, and seeing them have success that they would not have in another class, they can have with my class. In my field, I've always said it, and I'm not the only one. No, not all students are made to go to college. So we're trying to catch those kids that don't have that opportunity by giving them a skill and an opportunity to be successful in life. Teaching them how to work with their hands, how to learn with their eyes. This year we had a kid that I worked with for about 3 years with, and a kid that some of my peers said, "Oh, man, you got your hands full. I hope you know what you're getting yourself into." And it was nice to watch him walk the stage. His senior year, he was excited about getting his welding certs. And he did get his welding cert. He graduated with a welding certification, so he's able to have an opportunity to step in the real world and, find a job or something right off the bat. If not, continue his welding by going to a technical school or so on. But watching him walk on stage and getting that certificate, the hug I got afterwards, priceless. Aha moment is when I'm walking down the store and I see some of my ex-students and they come back and they explain, they talk to me about their successes and how my class, allowed them the opportunity to have a chance to be successful outside the classroom. A teacher taught me back in my days and took the time to believe in me and gave me the opportunity to become who I am now. So if I can do that for my students now, one of the biggest things is to believe in your students. Never give up on them. If I can do that and see my students be successful, then that's one of the greatest reasons to even be a teacher.
From San Elizario ISD, Rogelio Aldavaz.
All right, so you guys have your 3 test strips. Same thing, go ahead and take out the blue one, the red one, and the pink one. Lay them out by the sink.
Because I teach forensics and chemistry, so I know chemistry is not for everyone. And when I get those students to actually be engaged in the lessons and then they actually figure something out, they have that aha moment, that's when I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Or like my seniors, if they tell me, I'm actually going to go into forensics because of you, or I'm going this career path because of you, that to me, that's what makes it worth it. This year, I cried a lot with my seniors when they left because they were my first class, right, that I taught in high school. But last year, I had a student in my forensics class that I really didn't think he enjoyed the class. He was, real quiet. He would do his work, but he was real quiet. And at the day of graduation, he came up to me and then he's all like, hey, mister, I'm actually going to go into forensics because of you. I really loved the class and everything. I was all like, dude, you didn't even talk the whole year. So I thought it was really cool. And to me, that it was very heart touching. Because like I said, teaching chemistry is not for everyone. And I have students that always tell me I've struggled with math. I suck at math. I don't like math. So, and I tell them, well, chemistry is going to have math, but don't worry, I'll kind of walk you down and everything. And when we started doing stoichiometry, at first they kind of look at me like, I don't know what you're talking about, man, But as soon as, I get the formulas going and I get the setup, and after about 3 or 4 runs of that they actually do it and they're like, oh my God, I never figured this out. Like, this is so cool. And I'm like, I'm telling you, like, it's just give it time and you'll be fine, and especially when it's like those hard to reach kids. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right then,
From Socorro ISD, Michael Neff.
I love being an educator because I get an opportunity every day in my classroom to impact the future. And not a lot of people can say that about their profession. Every kid that comes through my door, sits in my class, or every kid that I have an opportunity to impact on the football field or even in the field house and locker room, every single one of these kids is going to grow up to become somebody. And I feel like it's such a tremendous responsibility, but such a tremendous honor to play a part in their educational future. And it's not just a job, it's not just a profession, it truly is a calling. And kind of took it as my personal goal and mission to make sure every year when I get in there and throughout the year that I make sure that I develop a relationship with my kids, that I get to know my kids on a personal level. Because how else am I going to make a connection with them if I don't know anything about them? I really and truly believe that we as teachers are that bridge between the student and that access to knowledge. And if I got my drawbridge up and I'm not helping them to make that connection and get across, then they're not going to be able to gain the knowledge that I want to impart unto them. I had a student and during her sophomore year, she had some problems showing up on time to class and would show up a little tardy here and there. And her name was Amy. And so what I told her, I was like, hey, Amy, you better stop showing up late because I'm going to start calling you Shamey instead. And so she kind of looked at me like this, like, oh, come on, coach, don't do that to me. And I'm like, don't don't push me, Shamey. And it was really funny because on graduation day, she came up to me after the ceremony, and she was kind of half smiling. It looked like she had tears in her eyes a little bit, and she's like, Coach Neff, I'm not going to be Shamey anymore. And I'm like, you better not be. I was like, you better go out there and you better do great things, Amy. And so she gave me a big old hug and told me thank you. And I mean, moments like that, I mean, you seem to have so many of them with however many lives you touch, but in that moment I felt like breaking down and crying and weeping like a small child, because it just kind of reminded me, like, hey, they remember those things. I mean, that was 2 or 3 years ago, and they've had so many other things that have happened in their life since that point, but they cared enough about that moment to remember that.
From Tornillo ISD, Brenda Carrillo.
So, vertical, done. What does the U represent? Undefined. What is undefined?
What I find most fulfilling about being a teacher is when I see a student who once doubted themselves starts to believe that they can actually do it. Just watching their confidence grow, seeing how they go from I can't to I get this, that's everything to me. I love that not only do I get to teach math, but I get to help them realize that they are capable of more than they ever imagined. And that's what inspires me, that I get to help them change the way they see themselves, that I get to be part of that process where they learn that mistakes are okay, curiosity matters, and growth comes from trying, failing, and trying again. Sometimes I see that with my students, doing the math is the easy part. The real challenge is them believing in themselves. They say that faith moves mountains, and I remind my students to use that same faith to move any mountain that obstructs their path to success. A heartwarming experience that reaffirmed my passion for teaching involved an entire class of students who at the beginning of the year told me, I don't like math, it's hard, it's boring. And so I made it my mission to not only change the way they viewed math, but the way they viewed themselves as learners. So on day one, I refer to them as scholars, and I just like to plant that little seed. And some of them were nodding their heads, others were laughing, but I meant it. It wasn't easy. It took a lot of patience, hard work, lots of encouragement, building trust, and changing mindset. Little by little, I started to see a change, how they would carry themselves, the types of questions they would ask. They were taking risks. And so by the end of the year, not only were they good at math, they truly believed they were scholars. That confidence and pride when they got their state exam scores, and many of them passing for the first time in their lives, was unforgettable. I will never forget those smiles and tears of joy, and especially that student who told me that he wasn't going to pass my class, he mastered. And that's my why, the reason why I do this. And it's not because of the scores or the accolades. It's about me helping my students realize that they're capable of more than they ever thought possible.
From Isleta ISD, Manuel Delgadillo.
Do you feel like after doing this, you have a little bit of insight to some of the conversations that went on?
When I first became a teacher, I think it was very much because I liked the subject of history, but it also was because I myself had a teacher who validated my experiences, who encouraged me to go further. I really wanted to do the same for someone else. I really wanted to do the same for others. Most recently, some of my students decided to throw me a little surprise party for my birthday. My birthday is in the beginning of the year, and some of my juniors that I had the previous year decided to all come together and kind of throw me a little birthday party. I'm a sentimental person, so I immediately broke into tears a little bit. And that was a really, really nice experience. It really kind of showed me the type of bonds and connections that I was able to make with students. I am a frequent speaker for a professor at UTEP, Dr. Cartwright. Sitting in the class was one of my former students from my very first year teaching. She later told Mr. Cartwright that the reason why she was sitting in that classroom was because of the experience that she had had in my classroom. I feel like I continue to have a series of aha moments, but for me, I think the biggest one that I think became clear to me happened during my first year teaching. I was a young teacher. I was very nervous that I would be not taken seriously, that because of my age, the students would kind of like not pay attention to me or anything like that, or kind of like sort of be unable to like see the boundaries and stuff like that. And I think because of that, I went into it very much with I'm going to be like very strict. I'm going to be very against kind of like how I usually am. And it very quickly became evident to me that they could see right through that. Like very quickly, I think like they just kind of like had to like, oh, he's not normally like this. And interestingly, I think that was the aha moment for me, because once I started becoming more authentic to who I am, once I started more the type of person that I am, amicable, approachable, then it changed the experience for me so much, in that students felt like they could talk to me, students felt more comfortable in the classroom. It really reframed a lot of what I kind of like thought about classroom management going in, and it's something that I still hold on to today.
Congratulations to all of our district's Teachers of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, here to recognize this year's Superintendent of the Year is Dr. Oscar Troncoso, our 2024 Superintendent of the Year.
Thank you. Tonight is a night of honors celebrating all our educators' dedication, passion, and impact across our community. As last year's Region 19 Superintendent of the Year, it is a privilege to recognize our Region 19 outstanding Superintendents of the Year, who will represent our region at the TASB Superintendent of the Year later in September in Houston. Here at Region 19, we as superintendents are dedicated to the advocacy of our teachers and demonstrate an unwavering commitment to the students and communities that we serve. Now, before I introduce the 2025 Superintendent of the Year, I would like to ask that you help me recognize our two superintendent nominees who will each receive a monetary award for their district from Raiz Federal Credit Union. And thank you again, Raiz, for your sponsorship. First, seated at table 9, please rise and be recognized, Dr. Juan Martinez. Where are you? Superintendent of Clint Independent School District. And seated at table 24, please help me also recognize Dr. Xavier de la Torre, Superintendent of the Isleta Independent School District, the district. Please give him a round of applause. And now, the 2025 Region 19 Superintendent of the Year, our honoree, whose spirit shines through with such pride, representing Fort Hancock ISD, Superintendent Jose G. Franco, a Fort Hancock graduate himself. Mr. Franco has served in education for 40 years, with 26 of those leading Fort Hancock ISD. Under his leadership, the district continues to prepare students to meet the demands of a changing world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our Region 19 2025 Superintendent of the Year and my colleague, Mr. Jose G. Franco.
Thank you. I'm going to keep it short because tonight it's really not about me. It's about 23 educators that I got to meet Tuesday at the meet and greet. And I tell you, I was so impressed. Any one of those teachers deserves to be the Teacher of the Year. They were great. Like I say, I will keep it short. I just want to make sure that I thank some individuals for me being here. And my board, of course, they are 7 dynamic people that nominated me for this. I am really honored to represent the other 11 superintendents in Region 19 because every one of those people deserve also to be here. They are great. The other person that I want to, of course, acknowledge and thank is Dr. Aguirre and his staff. They do a fabulous job of putting this together, darn. So I'd like to thank him not only for this, but for their support throughout the year. I want to thank Raiz Credit Union. Without them, I'll tell you what, and this is, I mean, they've been doing this year after year after year. So let me get the note that he gave me. Go open an account ASAP. I would also like to thank my staff at home, my entire staff, faculty. Some of them are sitting over here. I surround myself with great people, and thank you guys for all you do. And then I also want to thank my wife. You know, it was hard being the spouse of a coach. And if you guys have been coaches, you know what I'm talking about. But it's even harder to be the spouse of a superintendent, and she's managed to do that. I also like to thank all of you in the room for not asking her continuously, ¿Cómo lo aguantas? So thank you for that. I want to close with a shout out to a 2-year-old that is in Cedar Park, Texas, and it's past his bedtime, but Grandma is videotaping it for him to see it tomorrow. Julian Franco, the joy of our lives. He's all the way in Cedar Park, Texas. So just a shout out to him. Guys, thank you very much and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to recognize the School Boards of the Year is ESC19 Board Chair Blanca Topete.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Blanca Topete, the proud chair of your Education Service Center Region 19 Board. And now, before we continue with our next evening of honors recognition, I would like to recognize all of our school board members that are in attendance. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Now, we turn to the TASA Outstanding School Board Awards, an award that celebrates school boards whose leadership and service have made a lasting difference in Texas public schools. These boards set the bar high, ensuring that every decision they make place students first. For 2025, 15 school boards from across the state have been recognized as regional nominees for their commitment to fostering student success. At the ESC19 regional level, we are proud to present this honor to 2 exceptional school boards. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting excellence in a small district, the Anthony ISD Board of Trustees has shown remarkable dedication to ensuring every student has access to a high-quality education. Their collaborative leadership and focus on student success truly embody the spirit of this award. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Angel Cuellar, Board President, and Superintendent Dr. Oscar Troncoso to the stage to accept the ESC19 Outstanding School Board of the Year Award for a small district. Congratulations, Anthony ISD.
Good evening. I'd like to say thank you to our board members that are here, Ms. Vela, Ms. Chavez, Ms. Garcia. It really takes a team of 8 with the superintendent. I've been on the board 23 years consecutive. Some of you I've known for a long time, some of you I've never met. But it's an honor to be recognized by our superintendent, Dr. Troncoso. It's the first time that Anthony ISD has been honored, and it won't be the last. I'm proud to to be up here amongst teachers that have a heart fulfillment for education. All of you really deserve the prize, but only one of you will take it. I just want to say thank you to the districts because you show a great compassion for your unity and for your kids. If you didn't have that compassion, you wouldn't be on the board. For new board members, the advice I give you is take the trainings. Don't delete the trainings. Take the trainings. Don't come with a hidden agenda because that's going to break your board. Not only your board, but it'll probably make your superintendent walk away. With that, I thank you all. I thank Dr. Troncoso. I thank the fellow. I have to say this. Thank you for every Marine, sailor, airman, Army, that veterans that are here. I just met two great veterans that I didn't know that served as Max, and then he was another gentleman. Dr. T, of course. Me and him are Navy guys. Mr. Perez that I met, Navy also. But thank you, every single veteran that are here, because you've done a great thing for this country, and I just want to say thank you.
Now, leading with vision and a deep commitment to student achievement, the Clint IS Board of Trustees continues to make a lasting impact on public education in our region. Recognized as this year's outstanding large district honoree, they exemplify what it means to serve with purpose and passion for every child. Please join me in welcoming Mr. James Pendel, Board President and Superintendent Dr. Juan Martinez, to the stage to accept the ESC19 Outstanding School Board of the Year Award for a large district. Congratulations, Clint ISD.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having as much fun as we are here tonight. On behalf of the Clint Board of Trustees, I'd like to thank Dr. Aguirre and the entire Region 19 Board for selecting Clint ISD as the outstanding board for Region 19. We're deeply honored by the selection and we are committed to not only be worthy of this honor, but to exceed the expectations. At this time, I'd like to introduce you all to our board. Will our board from Clint please stand so we can give you a round of applause? Joining us tonight, Mr. Eric Gardea, Ms. Isela Torres, Ms. Yvonne Shea, Mr. Rocky Cruz, and I believe anybody else, please. Ms. Pettis, Marcus, Ms. Marcus is joining us tonight. Ms. Macias could not be with us tonight. And Mr. Montes, our newest board member also. And we have a great team at Clint, and we're real proud of them. Let's give them a big hand. To be selected as the Board of the Year would simply not be possible without the tremendous support of our outstanding employees. The success of our board is a reflection of the phenomenal teachers, administrators, and our amazing superintendent, Dr. Juan Martinez. Dr. Martinez, his leadership has inspired us and has continued to inspire us to bigger and better things in Clint. And as our vision statement says in Clint, together we build tomorrow. and we are doing just that in Clint. And tomorrow's getting here pretty fast. Well, ladies and gentlemen, over the past 32 years as a board member for Clint ISD, I realize that our school district is very special in many ways. The citizens of Clint ISD truly love their district, and they continue to elect good people to the school board. As a result, we work very hard to earn the public's trust, the respect, and the approval from the public. Our board members have a combined 85 years of service to Clint ISD tonight and counting. Ladies and gentlemen, our board members understand the importance of working with each other and with our superintendent. We operate as a team of 8 because we realize there are no one-man teams, and none of us is smarter than all of us. Our board realizes the Board of Trustees are elected to do what's best for our students, staff, and our taxpayers, with no exceptions. As a result, our board has developed and maintained a very positive reputation with the citizens of the Clint District, whether it be in East Montana, whether it be in Horizon, or in Clint. And between the two areas of the district, it's 30 miles apart. So we have a lot of territory, 380 square miles in Clint to take care of. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, our board understands the importance of setting goals with high expectations and providing the best education, second to none, for our students. Consequently, when the time comes for this board to pass the baton on to the next board, you're going to leave our district in better shape than it was when we found it. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the board once again, I'd like to thank you all for this award. Thank you to the region. Thank you all for attending tonight. Congratulations in advance to all the teachers of the year. And we look forward to seeing you all in the future at our events. Have a good evening and drive safe home.
Ladies and gentlemen, to recognize our valued sponsors of tonight's ESC19 and Rise Federal Credit Union Teacher of the Year Award celebration, here is once again ESC19 Head Start Director Socorro Rodriguez.
Now, let us take a moment to recognize our sponsors, whose generosity helps make tonight's celebration possible. Just as our teachers shine through for our students, our sponsors shine through for our community, providing the support that allows us to honor these outstanding and amazing educators in such a meaningful way. Yes. To our sponsors, thank you for helping us put the spotlight where it belongs, on our teachers and those who support them. And now, we'd also like to give a very special thank you to our title sponsor. I call them our golden sponsor, whose commitment and generosity truly makes this evening of celebration so very special year after year after year. It's actually they who call me to remind me that it's almost the Teacher of the Year. They help us put together this amazing event, going always above and beyond with their contributions and their enthusiastic participation to ensure our Teachers of the Year honorees have a memorable experience from start to finish. Please please join me in welcoming Rise Federal Credit Union President and CEO, Mr. Max Villaronga.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's title sponsor and long-standing partner of the ESC19 Teacher of the Year Awards. A dedicated civic advocate, he demonstrates exceptional commitment to promoting the success of our community's veterans, local businesses, students, teachers, and families. Representing Rise Federal Credit Union, here is Rise Federal Credit Union President and CEO, Max Villaronga.
So I'm wondering, my wife Erin's here in the front, can we have that voiceover when I come into the house after work? Okay. So before I get started, I really want to recognize the group that allows this to be possible. So here this evening, with representation from many of your school districts, is my board of directors and supervisory committee. So I'd like to ask them to stand up, and they're actually peppered throughout the room because some of them still work at the school districts in the region. So if you could please stand up and be recognized. Thank you for your commitment to the community and your volunteerism. I'd also like to recognize the RISE staff that's present. We've got quite a few staff members here. They're what makes everything happen at RISE. If you could please stand up and be recognized as well. Thank you so much. So it's so fantastic to be with all of you tonight. It's a fantastic opportunity we have to come together and celebrate the incredible passion, resilience, courage, and hope that you all bring to your communities, the young minds you educate, and the families you nurture. I can't express how excited and honored I am to stand here, recognizing the amazing achievements of our extraordinary educators. Your daily contributions truly ignite inspiration everywhere. Just recently at the meet and greet, I was moved by your heartfelt stories, each one a beautiful reminder of your unwavering commitment to making a difference. You are so much more than teachers. You are the architects of the future, skillfully guiding young minds and planting seeds of hope that will flourish for generations to come. Allow me to take a moment to reflect on our history. It's hard to believe that 89 years ago, here in El Paso, Rise Federal Credit Union, originally known as TFCU, was founded by 7 teachers during the Great Depression. They had a bold mission to create strong community foundations built on the idea of people helping people. Today, we proudly carry on this legacy, passionately supporting education and strengthening our partnerships, especially with all of the school districts that make up Region 19. At RISE, your stories inspire us every day. United by our enthusiasm for knowledge and growth, we're on an incredible journey filled with hope and positivity. A journey we are thrilled to share with each of you. For 20 wonderful years, we've been proud sponsors of the Region 19 Teacher of the Year. Isn't that awesome? And that reflects our unwavering commitment to this cause. Reflecting the values, passion, and dedication you exhibit, we're excited to enhance this celebration even further by boosting the cash prizes for our amazing nominees and winners. Does that get a round of applause? Everybody likes money, right? Plus, we're continuing our partnership with the Sun Bowl Association to ensure that our incredible educators receive the recognition they truly deserve during the Thanksgiving Day Parade and the Sun Bowl game. Yes, right? It's pretty awesome. We know that gearing up for a new school year can sometimes feel overwhelming financially. To make things easier for you, we've tailored special loans and rate discounts that are designed to help you create that vibrant classroom environment or tackle those unique expenses that come with starting the new school year. We're also promoting financial literacy from an early age, starting as young as 8 years old. By offering free online financial education courses for your students that gamify financial topics like budgeting, savings, and understanding credit. Teachers receive a full set of resources to incorporate this learning in the classroom, and they can be a catalyst for their students' financial success. Our partnership with Region 19 schools, from Anthony ISD to Tornillo ISD and everywhere in between, has never been stronger. With our High School Spirit debit card program, we've transformed everyday transactions into over $188,000 in donations benefiting countless student clubs, sports, and organizations. Pretty awesome, right? Raíz, which means root in Spanish, perfectly captures our commitment to strengthening our connection with El Paso and its incredible educators. Supporting your professional growth lies at the heart of our mission, which is why we offer the Rise Up Professional Development Grant every year. This wonderful initiative gives one teacher from each school district the chance to attend a training or conference of their choice during the school year, fully funded by Raíz. We believe in your right to learn and grow, and this is our heartfelt promise to you. As we look toward a future brimming with potential tonight, truly shines a spotlight on you, the Teachers of the Year, whose unwavering dedication and hard work are nurturing the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, from El Paso ISD, presenting tonight's elementary school nominees is the ESC19 2024-2025 Elementary Teacher of the Year, Dora Esquivel.
Thank you. It has been a wonderful honor to represent Region 19 this past year. I want to start by thanking God for allowing me to fulfill His purpose in me. I also want to thank Region 19 and Raíz Federal Credit Union for putting together such an amazing event and for investing and pouring so much love into our teachers. Going to state alongside Mr. Martin was amazing. While we were there, we were praised for being the only Regional Teachers of the Year representing self-contained education classrooms. It was amazing to know that Region 19 is a leader in inclusivity and acceptance of students who have different learning needs. Region 19 is spearheading positive change in special education across Texas. This year made me reflect on the challenges that students face every day. I also reflected a lot on my own educational journey. I looked back at my high school years and decided to do some research. I am proud Canutillo alumni, class of 2008. As a high school student, I was labeled at risk. Being at risk means that you have a high chances of dropping out of school or not achieving your educational goals due to certain circumstances or criteria. I was labeled at risk because Spanish was my first language, I did not understand or speak English, and I was a low socioeconomic student whose parents migrated from Mexico to the United States. I reached out to some of my classmates, majority of whom were also labeled at risk due to being emergent bilingual, coming from low socioeconomic background, having an incarcerated parent, or teen pregnancy. We all agreed that finishing high school and seeking higher education was not easy. We all felt that at that point in our life, the circumstances we were facing would consume us. We all also agreed that we had been fortunate enough to have people, in this case, great educators, who helped us accomplish our educational goals and overcome the negative labels. Canutillo graduated 278 seniors in the spring of 2008, many of whom had the at-risk coding. But when I researched further, I found out that 58% of those graduated seniors had not enrolled in or had plans to seek higher education. I was part of that 58%. Most of the classmates that I reached out to were also part of that 58%. So what changed for us? Why were we able to overcome our obstacles? What pushed us to seek more? I can confidently tell you that the people that helped us overcome our individual challenges were the educators that shaped us while we were in school. I can vividly remember Ms. Flores, my AVID teacher, telling me education was important. I can remember Ms. Toll pushing me to embrace my Mexican roots. Coach Herrera reminding me that God had a plan for me, or Coach Estrada reminding us to always do our best because we were his little stars. These teachers believed that we were more than each of our labels. These teachers took the time to get to know each one of us independently, and they cared for us. Not only as students, but as individuals. Each of those teachers believed that our negative circumstances and at-risk label did not define us, and they helped each of us believe it too. So what did the educators from class of 2008 produce? My graduating class includes a teacher recognized as Teacher of the Year at her campus and finalist for EPISD, another teacher who fosters bilingualism and the importance of multicultural education, an expert in foreign language and linguistics who serves in the Air National Guard and is a money laundering investigator, several service members, an Army combat medic, an IT specialist, several police officers, an executive director of an organization that advocates for marginalized communities in Austin, several successful business owners, the first ever EPCC sergeant female officer, a commercial and residential real estate agent and part owner and investor of Careview Mammography Center, an ER nurse, an OR nurse, an ER doctor, a software developer, a psychologist, several engineers, and a 2024-2025 Regional Teacher of the Year. Not too bad for some kids with a bunch of labels, right? Today, many of my classmates who had less than optimal life circumstances while in school are successful professionals who pour into their communities. Why? Because of educators like you. Today, I stand in front of you representing the class of 2008 and every student in your classroom who has ever had any label on them or who has faced less than optimal life circumstances. My classmates and I are proof the hard work and dedication of educators makes a difference in the lives of their students. Your love, knowledge, and hard work turn negative labels into powerful titles. Tonight, I want you to remember that every relationship you build matters. Your love and dedication to your students is crucial, and your hard work is never forgotten. Thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate you. Now, let's meet our teachers. Thank you.
From Anthony ISD, Sylvia Rivera. From Canutillo ISD, Isaac Oliva. From Flint ISD, Araceli Montalvo. From El Paso ISD, Sandra Iglesias. From Fabens ISD, Anais Roundtree. From Fort Hancock ISD, Maria Fierro. From San Elizario ISD, Rachel Quiñones. From Sierra Blanca ISD, Rachel Gomez. From Socorro ISD, Edith Miranda. From Tornillo ISD, Valeria Valenzuela. From Isleta ISD, Gladys Hinojos.
And now, returning to present the Region 19 Elementary Teacher of the Year finalist, here is Max Villaronga.
Deep breath. Enjoy this moment, right? You got here. We were trying to keep everybody from getting too nervous, right? But don't they look lovely? Isn't this amazing? They already won. They already won. Okay? So this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. So I'll start with our second runner-up in the elementary school Region 19 Teacher of the Year. The second runner-up, I'm trying to be very careful I don't end up on FitFam. It's not okay to be FitFam famous. Second runner-up from Canutillo ISD, Isaac Oliva. Over there. All right. I'm very excited to announce the first runner-up in the Elementary School Region 19 Teacher of the Year is Anthony ISD Sylvia Rivera. And if I can you help me with a little bit of a drum roll? The elementary winner, Region 19 Teacher of the Year, Sierra Blanca ISD, Rachel Gomez.
Wow. Well, good evening, everyone. What an honor to stand here. I am incredibly humbled and honored to receive the Teacher of the Year award, an honor that I accept with a heart full of gratitude. Before anything else, I want to give glory and honor and praise to God. Without Him, none of this would be possible. He is the one who called me, equipped me, and He continues to sustain me, not just as a teacher, but as a youth pastor. I serve in both capacities, the classroom and the church. Thank you. And I know without a doubt that both are part of the purpose He has placed on my life. I hold tightly to the promise in Philippians 1:6, which says, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. That verse has been what I stand on as a teacher, because this work, whether it's ministering to young people on Wednesdays or pouring into students Monday through Friday, it's not just a career or a title, it's a calling. God began this work in me, and he is faithful to complete it. Every lesson I teach, every heart I reach, every life I have the privilege to touch, it's all part of something so much bigger than me. It's kingdom work. To Ms. McGraw, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you for your support. Your encouragement and backing have meant so much to me, and I truly appreciate the confidence that you've shown in my work. Your hard work and dedication have been a true gift to Sierra Blanca. Thank you. To Ms. Geimer, thank you for the support that you have given me daily. I sincerely appreciate you and all you're doing for our school and our community. Thank you. To Sierra Blanca ISD, my home, thank you for being a place where I can thrive and serve with purpose. The support I receive helps not only our school, but the entire Sierra Blanca community. And I am a proud vaquero, and I am proud to be a part of this district that leads with such care and love for our students and staff and community. To my coworkers, who are also like family, thank you for being the most passionate, hardworking, and compassionate group of people I could ask to work alongside. You inspire me every single day, and I share this recognition with you. We're in this together. The early mornings, the long nights, the hard conversations, and the small victories. They mean everything. Thank you. To my students, you are my why. You are the reason I show up with passion and intention. Whether I'm teaching you in the classroom or ministering to youth in the church, you remind me the next generation matters. You matter. You're seen. You're valued. And I thank God for the chance to walk with you, to teach you, and to learn from you. You have gifts, purpose, and a future, and I praise God every day that I get to be a small part of your story. To my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my extended family, thank you for your love and encouragement and prayers. You've supported both of my callings, even when it meant long days, late nights, and a full calendar. You've stood behind me with love, life-filled words, faith-filled prayers. And I love you more than words can say. This award is as much yours as it is mine. And finally, to my Heavenly Father, this award is a reflection of his work in me. Thank you for calling me and for trusting me with this assignment and for never letting me walk alone. I will continue to serve you faithfully in every classroom, in every church, and every conversation. Toda Abba. I want to close this by saying this award may have my name on it, but the glory belongs to God. He opened the doors. He prepared the way. He gave me this calling, and he gets all the credit for whatever impact has come from it. My desire is to point people to God, to build up the next generation, and to lead with purpose in all that I do, in the classroom, outside of the classroom, in my ministry, and in life. So thank you all so much, and to God be all the glory.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Socorro ISD, presenting tonight's secondary school nominees is the ESC19 2024-2025 Secondary Teacher of the Year, Christopher Martin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christopher Martin. I am the outgoing Region 19 Secretary Teacher of the Year. The past year and a half has been such a great experience. The TASA, or the Texas Association of School Administrators Teacher of the Year program, is something I hope many teachers can experience in their careers. The process of the application interviews gives you a purpose, makes you look at your career, what you chose to do with your life. Each of us has a story that's worth recognition, and I hope that's something people are taking in right now. I would like to thank Region 19. It has been an integral part of my career. I began in the teacher preparation program over 25 years ago. When Mary Schmidt was the director, she had a lasting influence on me. She gave me the reverence for this profession. She had high standards and expected me to meet them, and I strive to do that. She invited me afterwards to teach the special education and human development class for the program after I completed it. I taught it for 3 years. I went on to get my master's in special education with an emphasis in autism, and it guided the rest of my career. After that, I spent 3 years teaching at UTEP as an adjunct professor in Project Change, and then I taught middle school during the day and grad school at night. Wrap your head around that. Middle school during the day and grad school at night. The difference in motivation was pretty astounding. Throughout my career, I've had many opportunities to return to Region 19 to further develop myself. I want to encourage all teachers, superintendents, and administrators to encourage you to access Region 19. Dr. Agide and their team do an outstanding job to prep and develop the next generation of teachers. They produce new generations of teachers every year. I feel as though I've now become a mentor, and I'm happy to give my time to anyone who needs a question answered about special ed or autism. It's my area of expertise. I would like to take a moment to thank Ms. Socorro Rodriguez, who heads up the Region 19 Teacher of the Year competition. She leads with her heart and makes everyone she comes in contact with feel incredibly special. If we can give a round of applause for her, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Your exceptional planning and execution just blows me away. I'd also like to thank Raiz Federal Credit Union. You heard the gentleman speak just a moment ago about 20 years of dedication to Region 19. 20 years. That's quite a run. Affecting teachers and encouraging teachers and fostering financial literacy. Thank you, sir. You're a model for us. I also want to encourage teachers in this room to take advantage of Raiz, who offers grants and scholarships. I took that opportunity after winning Teacher of the Year. You don't have to be Teacher of the Year to run for it. I went to Baltimore. They gave me $3,500 to go to the Council of Exceptional Children, which trains unit teachers. And I flew to Baltimore and had the best convention. You guys can pick where you want to go as long as you're willing to give back to your community when you get there. I'd like to thank my district. The incredible support I was provided from Maya Kirtley in PR, who was there every step of the way, sitting with me before every interview. I'd also like to talk about the director, Christy Flores-Jones, and Daniel Escobar, who heads it all up. He does an outstanding job. They're so professional. I can't believe the amount of videos I have of myself. Okay? No one would have thought this. But and the stuff we saw today, the Teachers of the Year will have that for a lifetime to look back at. Of course, I would also like to thank my campus, Enzer Middle School. Dr. excuse me, not doctor, but Stephen Fernandez, my principal, who isn't here tonight, but Ms. King, my assistant principal in charge of special ed, is here. Ms. King, I could not do it without you. You're phenomenal. I would also like to thank everyone who takes the time, all the teachers that take the focus to work as the Teacher of the Year for elementary just spoke about, the long hours, the extra time, and the spouses that support us. My wife puts up with, yes, I had to stop by Five and Below again. I needed pencils, I needed things for the treasure box, I needed things to motivate folks. They do so much for us. The Teacher of the Year program is a platform for our voices. I'd like to thank my board members and all the board members in this room that take the time. I heard 35 years and 20 years in a row working for districts to support people. The teachers feel that. They see that. They hear about what goes on in board meetings. They know if you're doing the right thing for us. We appreciate you. I participated in many committees because of Teacher of the Year, the opportunities to learn and grow myself. I participated in the Finance and Operations Advisory Committee in Socorro Independent School District that brought in key stakeholders across the community to help shape the next step in the next vision of Socorro Independent School District. It's just one example of the forward-thinking leadership that our new superintendent, Mr. Vasquez, has for us in the future and is bringing Socorro into the next steps. For Teacher of the Year, Dora Esquivel, that talked about her experiences, we went together to Round Rock for the Texas Teacher of the Year. She stated it, but I want to make it clear because she brought it to my attention. The ladies, when we were at one of the luncheons in Round Rock, came up to her and said, "Do you realize that you're the only unit teacher for elementary here, and then Mr. Martin is the only unit teacher for secondary?" So out of all of Texas, there were 2 unit teachers, special ed unit teachers, that recognized Dora Esquivel for El Paso Independent School District and Mr. Martin for Socorro Independent School District. Now, I'm not just tooting my horn. I do it because for us to be recognized by Region 19 in the process, it really says something. You don't really, a lot of people don't even know sometimes what we do in units, what we do with our kids. What we do with our kids is we focus on their talents and abilities and shine them up until they shine so brilliantly no one sees their disabilities anymore. Isn't that what we're in this for? We still have challenges in education. We watch it in the news every day. But we can move the needle in the direction of growth amidst the current challenges in education. I would say congratulations to all the winners. The district winners, you are amazing people. This year is going to change your life. Go to the Sun Bowl. Go to the parade. Go to the events. Do the things your districts ask you to do. Districts, continue to celebrate them. It's like a joy bomb you blow up in your district and people are ready to charge the walls again. Everyone, thank you for supporting teachers. I hope everyone enjoys all the accolades tonight and the year to come. You'll meet so many more dedicated people out there, and I know they'll inspire you like you've inspired me. Remember, I want to close with Martin Luther King. Remember, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Thank you and have a nice evening. Now let's meet our secondary teachers.
Like I said, aren't they all winners? Well, it is my pleasure in the category of Secondary Teacher of the Year to open the envelope for the second runner-up. And that is from Canutillo ISD, Stefania Gallegos Perez. What's that? From, it's a misprint. Yes, Clint. From Clint ISD. And I promise it says Canutillo ISD. I promise I can read. All right. So, yeah, FitFam. It's already on FitFam right now. Live stream. Right? All right. Now for secondary first runner-up, and hopefully this has the right district. Michael Neff, Socorro ISD. And again, if you all could help me with a little drum roll, the winner in the secondary category for Region 19, Tornillo ISD's Brenda Carrillo. Amazing. I can hold your stuff. Here, let me hold this for you, okay? Yes? Yeah, don't let me take your speech.
My Lord, my God, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for this beautiful ceremony event. Thank you. Thank you all. It's been such a joy. I love it. I'm having such a great time. Thank you so much. Okay. Sí se puede, sí. I love you too. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I'm honored and humbled to stand before you tonight as the recipient of Teacher of the Year Award. My name is Brenda Carrillo, and I have the privilege of serving the students and family of Tornillo ISD, a community that has truly become my second home. Woo! This recognition is not just a personal milestone. It's a celebration of the collective spirit that drives our classrooms, our hallways, and our hearts. Teaching is more than a profession to me. It's a purpose. It's the joy of watching a student grasp a concept they once thought impossible. It's the challenge of turning numbers into meaning, equation into confidence, and math into language of empowerment. First and foremost, I want to thank God. It's by His grace that I'm standing here before you. He set me on this path, and I'm blessed to walk on it, held by His hand. I would also like to thank my husband and our two sons. I need water. I'm sorry. Oh, God. We can make it. Sorry. Okay, I'm ready. My boys, I want to thank you because you're the ones that have sacrificed the most, and yet you have not once complained. You have to sacrifice your mom time because I was trying to become great at what I do.
Just know that you were my biggest inspiration. I had the honor and privilege of being your math teacher and your mommy at the same time. That experience helped me tremendously in learning how to treat my students. So thank you, my loves. My husband, my computer, my agent, my best friend. Thank you for understanding how important my job is as a teacher and how deeply I am invested in my scholars. You have seen the long hours, the late nights, the weekends spent preparing, and the time I had to sacrifice away from family so I could help my scholars achieve greatness. Through it all, you supported me every step of the way because you know how much I wanted to give it my best. Your patience, encouragement, advice, and unwavering belief in me have been my strength, and I truly could not do this without you. Thank you for standing by me, for loving me, and for allowing me to give so much of myself to this calling I love. I love you, babe. I love you, my boys. Woo! To my family and friends here present and those that couldn't be here, thank you for being supportive and understanding. You guys re-energize me with every compliment and with all your words of encouragement. I tell my husband that it feels great to feel like you have a cheering squad behind you. Mom and Dad, I especially want to thank you for showing me what hard work, dedication, and passion to help others looks like. Love you all. And now it's time to thank my Tornillo family. At Tornillo High School, I've witnessed firsthand the resilience and brilliance of our students. They inspire me daily with their curiosity, their courage, and their commitment to growth. This award belongs to them, to every student who asked why, who stayed after class to dig deeper, who reminded me why I chose this path. It also belongs to my fellow educators, those I've mentored and those who've mentored me, whether it's collaborating across subjects or supporting one another through challenges or shared dedication makes Tornillo ISD a place where excellence thrives. To our administrators and our superintendent, Ms. Vega, thank you for championing, innovating, and trusting us to lead with creativity and compassion. Mr. Olvera, or as I like to call him, Boss, thank you for allowing me to be part of that dream you once described to me about your goals for Tornillo High School. Ms. Otero, or Jefa, thank you for guidance, your advice, and for always being there for me and our students. To Mrs. Espinosa, Chiquitita, thank you for being such a great partner. Our students have benefited greatly for having in our classroom. To the families who partner with us in shaping futures, your support is invaluable. And my students, you are the heartbeat of my work. You're the reason I strive to be better every day. Thank you for allowing me to be your teacher and your student. I would also like to show my appreciation and love to all involved in Region 19 for making this possible. Thank you for taking your time to show love and appreciation to all the teachers here today. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you also, Raiz FCU, for Federal Credit Union, my apologies, for sponsoring and supporting all teachers in the region. That is why you're my bank of choice. To my fellow Teacher of the Year nominees, it was an honor and a blessing to have gone through this journey with all of you. It truly could have been any of you standing here instead of me, because you all deserving of this award. I mean it. As a mathematics educator, I believe in the power of critical thinking and the beauty of problem solving and the importance of making learning authentic. But more than anything, I believe in people and the potential of every child and the strength of every teacher and the transformative power of education. Let's continue to lift each other up, to mentor, to innovate, and to lead with heart. Because when we do, we don't just teach, we ignite futures. Thank you for this incredible honor. I am proud to represent Tornillo ISD, Region 19. And to be part of a community
that believes in the promise of every student. Woo! Go Coyotes! Thank you all. God bless.
Okay, va a tomar foto. Yeah, we gotta get you. Wow, that was amazing. Let's give all our teachers of the year a great hand. You know, we're fortunate here at Region 19, and I'm referring to Anthony all the way to Del City, Ciudad Blanca, obviously, Tornillo, and all the other districts. It's amazing how many great teachers we have. And because of that, every time we do this, I know that we're going to walk away with individuals that are going to represent us at the state level at their best. We're fortunate. We've had winners before at the state level, and I believe this year, it just kind of feels that we just might have another one. Yeah? Now, a few things that were said earlier that I think are important to point out. The gentleman from Socorro who spoke up here, last year's Teacher of the Year, mentioned that EPISD and Socorro had their SPED teachers represent us last year. He pointed out something that I didn't realize. To us, it doesn't matter because we're just going for the best. And those two teachers were unit teachers, self-contained classes. But how beautiful is that? That they do what's right for kids, no matter where they start and where they're going to finish. You know? And I believe that's what sets our region, with all our 12 districts, sets us apart from the rest of the state. We don't have to worry about where a student comes from or what their background is. Because at the end of the day, they're all our students. And that, to me, is by far the biggest accomplishment, the biggest pride that I carry because of the makeup of our teachers and our educators and our superintendents. I have yet to meet somebody here, and trust me, I've met them out there when I go to my meetings at the state level, where they actually will say, you know, if only we didn't have, meaning certain students. Not here, not here. Here we take every student as they come, and every student here is ours. So congratulations to all our teachers. Keep doing the great work, and God bless all of you, and have a great evening.